What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the latest information about Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now just a few days ago, if you guys don't know, Nintendo held a special event where reviewers and the media as well as some popular YouTubers were able to come and play the first 90 minutes of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. And they had some restrictions, like they weren't allowed to get past a certain route and they were only allowed to play for 90 minutes, whichever of those happened first. But either way, we've gotten a lot of new information from people who've talked about their experience with the game. Now all of this new information is scattered all over the internet through multiple articles and videos, so I decided to actually compile all of that information into one video for you guys so that you guys can get all the information right away. Now I've divided all of this information into three big categories because there's really three big topics that are discussed in terms of all this information. So the first one that we have is just general information about the games. The second one is in terms of the progression and the story and what happens during those first few 90 minutes. And then also we've got stuff about the wild area, as that's a really big feature and a big part of this game. And so I'll let you guys know when we get to a new category, but yeah, let's get started. Alright, so the first major category that we're going to be talking about is just the general information, and so the first thing that we have right now is that Pokemon Sword and Shield, each version is going to be 10.3 gigabytes in terms of its file size. Now if you want some comparisons to other Pokemon games, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were 4.1 gigabytes on the Nintendo Switch, and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were 3.6 gigabytes on the Nintendo 3DS. And for some comparisons to other really big games on the Nintendo Switch, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 13.4 gigabytes, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is 14 gigabytes, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is 13.6 gigabytes. And so yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield definitely has a really big file size, which definitely makes you wonder how much content are they actually going to be putting in there. This is by far the biggest Pokemon game that we've ever gotten. The file size for this has never been achieved. I don't think we've ever even passed 5 gigabytes for a Pokemon game before, so this is definitely going to be full of a lot of content. And comparing it to other really big games on the Switch, it's only 3 gigabytes away from Breath of the Wild, 4 gigabytes away from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so it does make you wonder how much content could actually be in this game and how many things are in there that they still haven't revealed yet. Now this next thing is definitely going to make the longtime fans happy, and that's that you can finally skip the catching and type matchup tutorials in the beginning of the game. As I know so many people always get upset by this, and I usually get pretty annoyed too, where it's I've been playing Pokemon for so many years, but every single time I start a new game, I still have to watch how to catch a Pokemon, how to learn about which types are weak against what other types, and status conditions and all that type of stuff, when I've already been playing it for years and know how to play. So yeah, it's good that we can finally skip that. Now apparently the Pokédex is going to have a DexNav-like feature that shows you all of the Pokemon that you can find on a particular route. So if you're trying to catch all the Pokemon that you can find in a particular area, you're going to be able to know now if you found all the Pokemon in that location. And if you guys remember, in Pokemon Sun and Moon as well as Ultra Sun and Moon, on the bottom screen there was always a little flag that told you exactly where you needed to be for your next objective and to progress with the game. And so that feature is somewhat going to be returning with Pokemon Sword and Shield, but it's actually going to be on your town map. So every time you open your town map, it's going to give you a little indicator of where you're supposed to go next. Now apparently rare candies are no longer going to raise your Pokemon's level by 1, but instead they're just going to give you a set number of experience depending on the size of the candy. So if you find a large rare candy, you're going to get a lot of XP. If you find a medium one, you'll get a good amount, but if you find a small one, you might not get as much. So I think that this is a pretty interesting system. It's kind of similar to how it was done in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, but of course this hasn't been officially confirmed yet. This is just what people have said from how they played the game. I guess we'll have to wait and see officially when we have gameplay of how they work. Now this next thing is a very welcome change, and that's the fact that you're going to be able to find name raiders and move deleters in every single Pokemon Center throughout the region, and that's just a really awesome thing. It definitely makes things so much easier, where if you taught a Pokemon a move and you want to delete it, you're going to be able to do that now, and that's just going to be awesome because you can go right away into a Pokemon Center, talk to the person, and delete the move, whereas before you had to find the move deleter, and it was sometimes only in a certain spot of the region that you wouldn't even unlock till very late game, so it's just very annoying. And now you don't have to worry about that because you can literally go to any Pokemon Center. Now because the Galar region is based off of the UK, there's going to be a lot of British slang that you're going to be able to find throughout the game. Your mom is going to be called mum, and the TV is going to be called the telly. So I'm excited to see all of the British slang that we can find in the game. I think it's going to be pretty funny to see all of that. Now when cutscenes happen, the characters aren't going to have voice acting, but they are going to move their mouths to simulate them talking. I really do wish that Pokemon Sword and Shield had some voice acting. I think pretty much every big RPG nowadays has voice acting, but it is nice that they at least move their mouths and kind of imitate how they are talking, but it would have been really awesome to actually have fully voice acted cutscenes for all the parts of the game. The next thing is that Gigantamax Pokemon can only be caught through max raid battles or special events, and I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to work, but maybe you can only find certain Pokemon that can Gigantamax, and those Pokemon can only be gotten from max raid battles. That would definitely make a lot of sense, as I mean, it would make those Pokemon kind of harder to get right away, so you wouldn't just be able to find like a Butterfree right away that can Gigantamax and then sweep through the entire game. You'd actually have to do a lot of effort and work to be able to catch some Dynamaxed Pokemon in max raid battles, which are apparently going to be really tough, and then you're going to be able to have those Pokemon. So it's a pretty interesting concept. I don't know exactly how it's going to be executed. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I think that that is a good idea for them to do. Alright, so now we're going to be moving into the story parts of the game. So the first thing is that the game is actually going to open up with the TV broadcast from an introduction with Chairman Rose inside of a stadium, instead of like a usual professor introduction that always comes where they talk about like the region and stuff like that. So that's definitely a very cool change, and I'm excited to see how that's actually going to look like. Now, about a week ago, I'm sure you guys remember that there was some footage of a town inside of Pokemon Sword and Shield. I talked about it in this video, and there might even be footage of that town that you guys will see playing throughout this video. And now we know from like the press and people who got to play the game that the official name of this town is going to be Wedgehurst. The next thing is that Champion Leon is actually going to be the one who gives you and Hop your starter Pokemon, and he's going to keep the remaining one that doesn't get chosen. Now, there's going to be some dark foggy woods near your house, and the official name for that is Slumbering Weald, and a Wooloo is apparently going to break through here, and you're going to be tasked to retrieve it, so that's something that's going to happen pretty early in the game. Now, inside of these foggy woods, you're actually going to encounter a mysterious, powerful Pokemon of ancient legend, and that's all we've heard so far from people who played the game. We don't have any footage of this or any idea of what it could be. Maybe it's the legendary Pokemon like Zacian or Zamazenta. It could be something else. We don't know for sure yet, but apparently that's all we know so far. Now, at Professor Magnolia's lab, you'll learn about Dynamax with her and Leon, and they're going to explain that whole concept to you and give you more information on it. Now, this next thing is definitely one that I found really interesting, and that's apparently you're going to see a shooting star in the sky, which is going to grant you the ability to Dynamax your Pokemon. So you're going to see this random shooting star, and that's going to allow you to Dynamax in battle. It's just so random, like I don't see what the connection with it is. I mean, I'm sure maybe we'll learn about it throughout the story and playing the games, but like usually every single game, when you're introduced to like that gimmick or like grant the ability to be able to use that gimmick, you always had some sort of cool way of being introduced to it. Like with Pokemon Sun and Moon, you saved Lily and Cosmog from Aldo Spiro, and then you saw Tapu Koko who came down, and then he dropped like that bracelet that allows you to be able to use Z crystals. And then with Pokemon X and Y, obviously you battle Gym Leader Karina and her Mega Lucario, and once he saw your potential with how you can be able to use your Pokemon, she gave you a Mega Bracelet. Now, you're going to be able to take a train to the wild area, and the first major city is actually going to be called Motostoke. That's the name of the city, and I'm sure you guys know about it. Like, it's the one that's definitely based off of Manchester, and it's got like all that crazy industrial stuff all around it. Like, I'll have a picture of it on screen. So that city is going to be called Motostoke. And then another small detail is that you're going to be able to find the TM for Swift during some point early in the game before you get to that city. Now, these last few things are just going to be details about the wild area. So the first thing that we have is that the PC can actually be accessed from the menu when you're inside of the wild area. So it's essentially going to be just like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where you're going to be able to access your PC and deposit Pokemon and take out Pokemon right away inside of the wild area. I think that makes a lot of sense because of how it's such like a big open world type of area. It would really suck if you got like really deep into the wild area and had to run all the way back to a Pokemon Center because your Pokemon got hurt or something like that. So it's nice that you're going to be able to access that right away. Now, there's going to be a feature that alerts you when the weather is about to change. As you guys know, in the wild area, you can have different types of weather. It could be sunny, it could be cloudy, it could be raining, snowing. So there's going to be a feature that lets you know if the weather's going to change. Now, this next part is definitely my favorite about the entire wild area, and that's that you're actually going to be able to encounter drastically over-leveled Pokemon at an early part of the game. Now, you might be thinking, well, Aero, how is this a good thing? See, the thing that's good about this is that now it's like a traditional RPG. See, the thing that Pokemon always did was if you were ever in an area that you were not supposed to be in at that point in the game, there was always a person or something that blocked you from being able to explore that area. The best example of this is like in the Kanto region. Let's say after you got the Surf HM, you wanted to go into Cerulean Cave, you just weren't able to do so. There was always like a person that blocked you, saying that you weren't able to progress further, whereas now it looks like in the wild area, you're actually going to be able to freely explore and go wherever you want. So even if you do have like your level 15 team, if you run into like a level 60 Pokemon, you're gonna know now like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. Now the thing with Pokemon though is that Pokemon can actually be captured, and so technically even though it's really unlikely, it is possible that you could have your level 15 team and run into a really deep part of the wild area, find a level 60 Tyranitar, throw a Pokeball at the very beginning of the battle, and just get really lucky and catch that Pokemon. So if you did have that happen to you, would that just make the rest of the story really easy because you have this really OP Pokemon now that you can just storm throughout the entire story? Or are they going to have some balancing where you're not going to be able to catch Pokemon like that? Or like they're always going to dodge the Pokeball or something? I hope that they thought about that. Now there's also a special type of currency inside of the wild area called Pokewatts, and you're going to be able to collect them throughout like places where you can find Dynamax Pokemon, and those Pokewatts can be used to buy camping gear, TMs, curry ingredients, and things like that. So it is interesting how there's like a little kind of incentive to explore a lot of the parts of the wild area, collect the Pokewatts, and then trade them in to get items. And then there's also going to be 3 types of encounters that you can find in the wild area. You've got the overworld encounters where you can see the Pokemon like roaming around, just like how in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee they worked. And then you've also got traditional random encounters where you can just run around in the grass and you'll find a Pokemon. And then there's also exclamation point encounters where you're going to see like an exclamation point coming out of the ground, and then you walk up there and you're going to be able to find a Pokemon. And finally, the last thing is that very strong Pokemon in the wild area are actually going to have a yellow aura around them. Like how Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee had a red or blue aura, it's going to be a yellow aura for Sword and Shield, and those types of Pokemon that you find with the yellow aura can have maximum IVs and even egg moves, so that's definitely going to be useful for Pokemon that you want to use in competitive play, so I'm very happy that they decided to put something like that. And so there you go guys, that's all the information that we have about Pokemon Sword and Shield from all the people who got to play the game early. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button, and also comment down below and let me know what you guys think of all this. What are you really excited about with Pokemon Sword and Shield? What are some of these things that you liked a lot? What are some things that you're a little concerned about? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.